Alright, here's a quick follow-up video on the Mizner skepticism stuff that I just released yesterday. And it's just to condense my view in a shorter video, where I might be rambling too much, and maybe some people don't get exactly what I mean. So, I want to draw attention to this thing, and that's the differences between two positions. So, I believe that this is fake, versus I don't believe that it's real. Because those two things are very different. When you look at building blocks of logic, you have true and false, which aren't two opposite ends. True and not true are two opposite ends. False and not false, or fake or not fake, are two opposite ends. When I say I'm simply not convinced of a proposition, that's not a positive claim that I'm making. That's just a rejection of a claim that requires further evidence for me to be convinced. But saying, I believe whatever, let's say X, is fake, that's now a positive claim because I'm holding an active belief that this is fake, which is not my position and it's not how it works. I would have to truly determine 100% that something is fake to make that active claim. For anything, this goes further outside of Mizner stuff, outside of martial arts even. And there are people who believe a certain thing is fake after they've tried it. And maybe in some cases it's justified because they could have really truly checked and tested a single claim, very specifically a single claim, because that's how we go and determine. Even if you go out there and meet one of these woo-woo masters, and you determine that what they're doing is fake, that bears nothing on whether other people are also fake. It can give you an idea, you can have thoughts in your head, but you still can't hold an active belief that all of them are fake. That's why we evaluate claims on their own merit. And that's different from the rejection of the claim, the position of not being convinced, and based on evidence reached the conclusion that it is fake. But in a lot of these situations where you have sort of supernatural type elements and things that are happening, you can never really be 100% certain that it doesn't exist. That's the thing. But the time for you to be convinced that that stuff is real should come after you've been presented the sufficient evidence so you hold that belief. But the default position of not being convinced is good. That's always the starting point with stuff like this. And also another thing that I noticed that a lot of people also talk about my positions in those videos. I'm not saying that Tai Chi itself sucks, because I'm very much of the same view like Alan from In Defense of the Traditional Martial Arts, where all martial arts at the core are martial and have to be translated and have to be tested. And they will just end up like any other fighting style, because it's all fighting that all adheres to principles of body mechanics, and they're all governed by the same laws of physics that apply to every single one of us. But I don't even have a problem necessarily with like the internal martial art, the internal element of Tai Chi, because a lot of stuff that I see that often gets described as internal stuff is what I do too. Breathing exercises, understanding your structure, your positions, your like minute little details that change the intent or whatever, because I still do Wing Chun. So a lot of structural understanding that you gain through forms and to certain drills are things that you don't visibly see unless you're doing it, like driving the elbow forward, but driving the hand back. But while you do that without intent and with intent, you might not be able to see any difference, but it's something that you know. So that's internal. And I'm fine with that. My problem lies with the specific claims of stuff like, just for an example, I'm paraphrasing, if you separate your being and do this weird, vague, spiritual woo-woo thing, and then the person jumps as if they're getting electrocuted. That shit needs further evidence. So yeah, I don't think I'll be making a video on Mizner stuff for a while now, because so far I think I've said as much as I can at this point. Who knows? That's it for now. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care.